Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's good to have you back with us at Somaliland National Television. I'm Mohammed Aden here to bring you the latest news. These are the stories making headlines. Chairman of the Civil Service Commission held a conference regarding the implementation of reforms and government employees. Minister of Environment and Rural Development, alongside a number of top-ranking governmental and non-governmental figures, took a tour of supervision to areas. Dr. Umar Dihoud, one of the advisors of the Somaliland President, granted an exclusive interview to SLN TV. Minister of Environment and Rural Development, alongside a number of top-ranking governmental and non-governmental figures, took a tour of supervision to areas where people have been complaining about shortage of water. Residents have welcomed the delegation and explained their needs to the delegation. Minister of Environment and Rural Development spoke at the event. She stated that their visit was one of assessment and further understanding the situation in the area, as well as to supervise the area where there have been complaints from the residents regarding scarcity of water in the area. The minister pledged that all concerned government ministries and government institutions will continue to monitor the situation for as long as it retains composure. State Minister of Presidency and other governmental and non-governmental officials speaking at the event elaborated on the aim of their visit to these villages. They stated that their visit came following complaints from residents of El Hay, a neighbouring village where residents have been complaining about scarcity of water in the area. Now government officials pledge they will help provide available water for the residents in the area and will continue to monitor the situation. Chairman of the Civil Service Commission held a conference regarding the implementation of reforms and government employees to ensure that works are boosted in order to better serve the Somaliland citizens. Nuh Sheikh Musa Duale provided the initial remarks at the event. He stated that it is important and it is needed to ensure that reforms are implemented in government employees to further boost the ongoing efforts aimed at boosting works and the quality of public sector employees. The chairman of the Civil Service Commission pointed out that reforms are necessary to be able to ensure more progress on all public works, as it also maintains quality of the employees and sets guidelines between the employers and the employees. This will also be included a number of reforms to be made in all government institutions to fulfill pledges and objectives of the current administration. The current government has employed over 8,000 newly registered employees since the current government of President Ahmed Silani came to power. This was also part of the government's package to increase employment by public institutions. Through the reforms, it will be considered the right of public sector workers to ensure that public sector institutions have preserved those rights. Dr. Umar Dihoud, one of the advisors of the Somaliland President, granted an exclusive interview to SLN TV to speak regarding the violent actions of the Somalia government, which aggressively contravened Istanbul and Ankara Accords signed between Somaliland and Somalia. The advisor reiterated that Somalia's actions to destabilize parts of the Somaliland territory is a total failure of the Turkish-mediated talks between Somaliland and Somalia, in which members of the two governments signed into a memorandum of understanding that was saying all sides must respect the agreements and avoid actions that may hinder the continuation of the talks. Recently, Minister of Information, Culture and National Guidance overreacted to statements from the Somalia government that the Somaliland government deemed as total contravention of the agreements signed between the two states within the Turkish-mediated talks. Earlier, the Somaliland army has retaken over the control of Sahter district in an attack the army had taken to restore stability and government control in the area, where a group that dubbed itself the Khatumi state had been creating violence and actions that may destabilize the situation in area near the border between Somaliland and the Puntland administration of Somalia. People have expressed outrage to international calls for the withdrawal of the Somaliland army from Sahter, and the Somaliland government has deemed it as an intervention to its territorial integrity. The President's advisor reiterated that Somaliland's army should expand its control to all territories of Somaliland to ensure that law and order is restored in all regions, and that Somaliland's borders are non-negotiable. It is not the first time that the Somalia government was accused of contravening agreements signed between the two states. On the contrary, aggressive statements made by officials of the current government of Somalia have recently dominated all Somali-speaking media outlets. That's all we have for you today. Thank you for joining. You can catch us at the same time tomorrow. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.